suspended.
Chair, we have the Nassau Education Support Personnel Association. Ms. Marion Phillips is going to speak to us this evening.
Do I have to put my name and address? Do you want me to? Okay. I'm Marion Phillips. I'm president of the Nassau Educational Support Personnel Association, and I live at 724 South 6th Street, Fernandina Beach, Florida. In light of recent information that has been falsely shared to the public, tonight the non-instructional employees want to share a video created by the National Education Association. In this short video, you will experience what a day would look like if there were no education support professionals to educate our students. Please sit back and allow this video to resonate and imagine a day without ESPs.
Please use your imaginations for a moment. Get comfortable. Relax your bodies and open your minds. It's a cold January morning. The sky is still dark. Students are bundled up against the chill, waiting. The bus doesn't come for them. Some walk home to report that the bus didn't show up to take them to school today. Angry parents gather their children and drive them to school. But when they arrive, the school is dark. The hallways are empty. Most of the doors are still locked. Teachers let the students into the buildings. Parents storm to the office to demand to speak to the principal. But when they walk into the office, they find the computers off, the phones ringing, and no one to greet them. The principal is wondering where to turn without the right arm that truly runs the day. Teachers bring students into classrooms that have garbage cans overflowing with waste. The floors are sticky, scuffed, and muddy. Bathroom facilities are clogged and unsanitary. Teachers with full classes are overwhelmed. The paraprofessionals are not there to assist with students that need extra help. Teachers move from student to student as they try to have a productive day. Books cannot be checked out of the library since no one knows how to use the computer system. There are books on the floors, littering the tables. The technology sessions are all canceled for the day. Morning turns to lunchtime and stomachs are growling. Certainly a hot lunch will help ease the strain of the morning, but the telltale signs of a nutritional lunch being prepared are not here today. There are no sounds of pots and pans. The kitchen is dark and cold. The food service professionals are not there. This is the last straw. The superintendent calls the day closed. Schools cannot function. The people who maintain a clean, inviting, warm environment are not in the buildings today. Now wake up from this bad dream. How frightening would it be to try to run a school without education support professionals? This story is to stress the importance of the education support professionals. With all living expenses at extreme rates, education support professionals cannot survive at poverty-level wages. These dedicated workers need a living wage that keeps up with inflation. ESPs play a vital role in children's lives. They are the first people parents and students see in the morning and the last they see in the evening. Support professionals account for more than 40% of today's public education employees, including bus drivers, custodians, secretaries, nurses, maintenance workers, mechanics, student supervisors, and more. These employees work every day to maintain quality public schools. Nearly 90% of ESPs plan to stay in education. 74% live in the school district where they work. Nearly 2/3 have lived in their community for 20 years or more. Over 40% of ESPs have school-age children. More than 3/4 volunteer their time to one or more community activities or organizations. ESP ESPs provide the infrastructure in which teachers and administrators do their jobs. They bear a tremendous responsibility for state accountability and record keeping, as well as the safety, well-being, and education of our students. Education support professionals deserve more respect, better training, and professional development. Their wages should reflect their importance, responsibility, and the devotion they put into our education community every day.
Thank you, Connie, for showing the video. At this time, if you are an education support professional and you work here in the Nassau County School System, would you please stand? Thank you for coming. Now, if you support the education support professionals, will you please stand?
We all need to stand up.
100%. Thank you. At this time, I would like for several people to come up and speak. These are people that work in our school system that are education support professionals. You will never hear me say ESP, because the reason that I do not do that is because everybody, when they talk about education, they say teacher, teacher. So if you don't start saying education support professionals, you'll never know who we are. So when I speak at a podium or speak at the mansion in Tallahassee or in Washington, D.C., it's going to be education support professionals. So y'all have the list, and if you'll call them up, please everybody remember to say your name and address.
And what's your name?
Dennis Marsh.
Say my name and address and all that. Dennis Marsh, 95084 Gerald Circle, Fernandina Beach. You need my phone number too?
No, you don't need to.
Boy, there's a lot of good parents here. I work with 1, 2, there's a teacher, 3, 4, there's, you have some good parents here. I used to work with them for 6 years, but I just want to say what I said last time. Miss Burns come out to the school, explained the way the millage money was going to work, and went around to the community and sold it to the community, and exactly what she told us she was going to do has happened. So I don't know why we keep bringing this up. I think we got one gentleman that comes up here every school board meeting and brings up different stuff, and it's not against the payers or the bus drivers. He's against everybody. Anything to do with the school system, he causes trouble. So now he's pushing that the teachers should have got more money or it weren't equally divided, but what Miss Burns said she was going to do is exactly what happened. And I'm sure every payer bus driver in here appreciates what she's done for us. Thank you, Miss Burns.
Diane Fabulous.
Who was it?
Diane Fabulous.
Oh, boy. Welcome home.
I had to get me out of my retirement chair. My name is Diane Fabulous. I live at 2649 Gregor McGregor Boulevard. And I would have been here tonight had I not watched the video, but once I watched the video, of last meeting. I want to thank you for the opportunity to come here and speak to you on a topic that has historically been very near and dear to my heart. As a former Nassau County teacher, I have been before this body countless times, advocating for the understanding and fairness for employees of this school district. Employees who are also taxpayers. So tonight I'm here as a taxpayer and an interested community member. For nearly 40 years, I have listened to people come to this podium spewing rhetoric that is meant to pit groups of community members, teachers, support personnel, administrators against each other. On one side of their mouths, they're saying they want the best for their children, and on the other side of their mouth, they're opposed to any action or discussion that will allow fair compensation to all the employees. These voices are the loudest that are typically people who have never stepped into a classroom in Nassau County. Never. Never. They have never sat down and had a civil discussion with a bus driver. They have never had a discussion with a maintenance worker, a teacher, a bookkeeper, a cafeteria worker, a paraprofessional, a maintenance worker, a front desk receptionist, or an administrator. They make it their business to conjure up talking points about issues and things that they have no direct knowledge of in order to cause division and divisiveness among all the stakeholders. They are not seeking resolution to anything. They just want to be a catalyst for chaos. I want you to hear it from me again and again. As a teacher, I could not work one day of my more than 30 years in the district without an employees of the non-instructional classification. Not one day. I'd call in. I would have called in sick. I seriously thought that getting through the pandemic would be cause for people to focus on whatever they could do to bring consistency back to the education of children in Nassau County. My admiration went out. I retired in 2020. My admiration went out to every single employee that went back, returning to brick and mortar teaching. I don't know how they did it. And they were interested in restoring the routines to these children who will never, ever get over being gone from the classroom.
Your time's up.
If nothing else, the pandemic should have proved to everyone how valuable and irreplaceable school employees are in the education of children. I heard parents crying for school to get back. Crying. They realize they're not teachers.
Ms. Fabulous.
Huh?
Your 3 minutes are up.
Can I have more?
You've already had. We've got several others that need to speak.
Okay, well, I just want you to know that everybody in this room, whatever classification, whatever job, they're paying the same amount for gas. They're paying the same amount for eggs. They're paying the same amount with less salary.
Thank you.
No one can put a value on these employees.
Thank you. Terry Wilkerson. And please, there are several of you that want to speak, so watch for the 3 minutes. Thank you.
Yes, ma'am. Hi, I'm Terry Wilkinson. I reside at 12900 Broxton Bay Drive. I actually live in Jacksonville, but I'm an employee here of Nassau County as a school bus driver, and I've been employed here for going on close to 9 years now. So it bothered me when I heard the information from the gentleman saying that we were like not needed. And it came to me, I'm like, I have 60 elementary school kids. I have 60 middle school, high school kids. So I transport, 120 kids a day. And we've got, Dr. Burns, maybe 90 buses?
Yes.
And so you figure that up. How many kids are we transporting each day around this district? You know, it's like, how are they going to get to school for the teachers to teach? You know, just like the video. And I feel I do make a difference in my kids' lives. I've got 2 of my kids, just 2 quick stories. One of them, he's about ready to graduate. He's a senior. His sister she was in kindergarten. He started at Emma Love. So I've got this rapport with his family now. And even though he doesn't ride my bus anymore, you know, they're calling me, hey, Kaylani's doing good. He's getting ready to go to college. So I've got that rapport with these kids. And, there's so many different stories from all these kids that I have on my bus, but that's one story. The other story is my mom. She was in education. She was non-instructional. She was a cafeteria manager for 25 years in Clay County. And when my mom died, there were so many people coming up to me that I didn't even know. And they were telling me stories, of how much my mom, touched their lives. So if we're not essential, then I don't know what this person's thinking, but, I invite him to come ride a bus with me. You want to figure out how to touch people? Come ride a bus. There's kids that need us. And I want to say thank you to Dr. Burns. I've served on the union as site rep for our Yulee Yard, and I've been on the bargaining for several years. So I've sat across from you guys bargaining, and we do it fairly. There's nothing sneaky going on behind the scenes. Scott back here, Scott works his tail off, to make things happen for us. So thank you for allowing me to speak, guys.
Thank you. Angela Callahan.
My name is Angela Callahan. I am not a resident of Nassau County. I live at 11409 Confederate Lane, Glen St. Mary, Florida. I'm reading a letter that was written by a teacher in Nassau County who could not be here tonight. So this letter is from Mr. David Harris, who is a 5th grade teacher at Callahan Intermediate School. I believe he was Teacher of the Year last year.
Yes.
So he says, to whom it may concern, as a teacher in Nassau County, I wanted to take a moment to share the importance of all non-instructional staff on our campus and across the district. While these are my personal views, many of my colleagues would join me in agreement that our non-instructional staff are an integral part, an essential part of our school. They deserve the recognition and support they currently receive, which includes the recent millage bonus. At CIS, paras work with students on a daily basis and provide an extra layer of instructional support that allows our students to be successful and supports the teacher. While much attention is often given to teachers, non-instructional staff contribute to the success of students by maintaining a safe, welcoming, and productive learning environment. In education, David Harris. So thank you.
Phyllis Alderman.
Good evening. My name is Phyllis Alderman. I live at 10437 Tulsa Road, Jacksonville, Florida, a former resident of Nassau County. I serve as secretary at West Nassau High School, also the registrar, also the health aide. To the person who said that, need to come and sit in my position one day. My job does not consist of just answering a phone. It consists of dealing with parents, angry parents, calm parents, spiritual parents, unspiritual parents. My job also consists of going into classroom. If you have a child that's sick and I'm in the front and they're on the building way 18, you have to go get a wheelchair, you have to run down to that building, come back. The teachers cannot do it all. I deal with children who do not have a relationship with teachers, but will come and talk because teachers cannot do it all. Counselors cannot do it all. They have us non-instructional who they have a relationship with or pour with that can say, hey, I can talk to Ms. Alderman and I can get somewhere. I am supposed to be in my last year, but I extended another year because a student asked me not to retire until they graduate in 26. Had another one come ask me the other day, would you stay till I graduate in 28? We will pray about that. So do we have an important role? Yes. Parents, principals, teachers cannot do it all without us. They need us. We play a very, very important role in our children's life. When you have parents to call you outside of business hours on weekends, that lets you know you are somebody. You mean something in helping that child get their education. Thank you for your time.
Stephanie Jesse.
Looking for
he's not.
I don't see them. That's what's so frustrating. Stephanie Jesse, 56207 Hickox Lane, Callahan, Florida. I work at the Yulee Elementary School. I'm a custodian, 6 years. I'm also the vice president of Nassau Education Support Personnel Association. It's very frustrating to come and sit in these meetings and hear people tell lies, pure lies. I heard custodians make $47,000 a year from somebody standing here. Not even close to 47. Not even the 25-year custodian that I work with makes $47,000. Not even close to it. That's so frustrating. To have them come up here and say the things that they say and then just walk out. They don't listen. They don't hear the false information that they're giving to all these other people. And I hope that the people watching can hear the truth tonight. I come to this school to do my best. I am so proud to be a custodian at my school. I don't want to be a teacher. I don't want to be a para. I can certainly do that if I wanted to. I enjoy what I do. I enjoy making a place safe and clean, and kids come up to me, Miss Stephanie, I picked up all the pencils today. I'm saving money to the parents by not, having them do. It is just, without this money that we get, my life, I wouldn't be able, I literally have to pick and choose to pay the electric bill or pay my phone bill. It is a lifesaver. And since I've been on the bargaining team, Ms. Burns, everything that we have talked about, I told when I got involved 4 years ago, I will be here. I'm going to watch. I'm going to make sure that they're going to do what they say, and if they don't, I'm going to make a fuss about it. And everything that was said is being done. There's not one shady thing, and I am looking for the shady. There is not one single thing that has not been said. We've had several meetings about the millage. We've had people come and talk to you. If there's any question, we had a whole presentation with an actual tax bill that went by line by line by line before it was voted on. So this is so aggravating to have all this false information being told up here every month, and nobody gets to make them hear the truth. And so I hope that this is able to play back, and the community will sit back and watch that we are the real people that do this. This is not from California. I graduated high school from here. I've lived here this whole time. We are telling the truth. We're not trying to scam anybody. We just want to be able to pay our bills.
Thank you.
Thank you.
And I just want to say thank you. You're preaching to the choir.
I know. I'm doing it for the...
We understand, and we do not disagree with anything you've said. I can tell you the bus driver for both of my children was a wonder in their lives. She was the smiley face that they saw when they got on a bus in the morning. Even if I had hollered at them, she didn't. So very much appreciate it.
Gail, do you have any more speakers? I'm going to close if you don't.
Close, yes.
Is there anybody else that wanted to say something? Hello, Paula, hola. Yeah, I do know Spanish. I learned that in school. Write something down. Come on up. Come on up, son.
Hello, everybody. I'm new here. No, not new, but
No,
to this
you're
board
not.
meeting.
Give your name and address.
Julio Herrera.
And when you get through, there's a form in the back.
Okay.
Will you please fill it out, and so we can have
Yes.
it? Thank you.
Julio Herrera, 1920 Oak Drive. I live in the county,
Yes.
not the city. But I want to talk on behalf of my wife. She's a para at Southside Elementary. And we moved here after 9/11, 2001. And through Miriam, she got a job for the school board. But lately, ever since she's been in Southside, she was the first Hispanic speaker to, get along with the Hispanic family. But one thing I noticed that ever since she got the job title, her phone wouldn't stop ringing. And I'm talking about the non-English people. It didn't matter if it was a Sunday, Saturday, the day before school starts, because the phone calls, you'd be amazed. And she literally never got reimbursed. I mean, there's no, here's for your phone bill, here's for all your troubles. Zero. So if that's what she's worth, I mean, she's not getting anything. I mean, she loves her job, don't get me wrong, but there's no, like, this is for all your hard work. So I'm just speaking up for her. And everybody non-instructional, of course, but that's all I have to say.
Thank you.
And on that note, about Paola, it was the first person to reach out to the Hispanic community. And I helped her get a job because Southside was the school I started at as the bookkeeper, secretary bookkeeper. And Paola gives of her time unselfishly to help the community. And you are to be commended for that. And the translation, you translated attendance for me when I was doing attendance. I love you, Paola. All right. You're going to cry. I love you. Okay. I didn't know that. You need to share that with me. All right. The millage is working just as it was planned to do. We are retaining teachers and non-instructional employees. We and our families built this county. We care about our community and work every day for the improvement of our students. Those who move here as self-proclaimed watchdogs constantly criticize our school district, employees, the city, and county, and cause unnecessary burdens and strain our resources. People who constantly toot their own horn in press releases have a hidden agenda and are not looking out for the best interest of our students and our taxpayers. We, the education support professionals, deserve a living wage. We deserve to be paid as the professionals that we are. We do deserve the millage money and are very grateful to the taxpayers who voted for the millage. Some people misunderstand the millage and criticize the district based on their opinions. We hope that when the vote comes back again, that the citizens will support the millage once again. Despite what the naysayers claim, the millage is working as it was intended. We are retaining the employees. After watching the video and hearing the stories of our education support professionals, you can clearly see that we are important to the education of our students. Without us, teachers cannot teach and schools cannot function. I want to thank everyone who came tonight and thank those who spoke. For me, this has been a very emotional week. Tonight, I'd like to pay homage to a true servant leader, which is what all of us that are in leadership roles are supposed to be. A man who stood up for human, civil, and women's rights, who lived an example, showing through his actions to be more like Christ. This man, along with the help of the National Education Association, signed legislation in 1979 to establish the U.S. Department of Education. In the words of Dr. Martin Luther King, have a tough mind with a tender heart. Thank you, President James Earl Carter, for all that you've done for our country and for this world. Thank you.
Board members, would you like to add something?
Yes. Eva Lou Mills was my bus driver. I was in a very tiny town, one school, public K through 12. Mr. Lonnie, he was our custodian. Dot Rayleigh was the secretary, and Phyllis Mathis was the bookkeeper. Now, we didn't have power professionals back in those days, but I have worked with some dynamic women who are sitting in this room right now over from Emma Hardy. And I, too, will get emotional because I do see you, and I don't think there's anybody up here who doesn't see you and appreciate you. And no, we don't want our staff to do the job without you at all. So know that you are appreciated and you are loved.
Anyone else?
Oh, I'm happy to speak. I'm a principal at an elementary school, and when my secretary calls in, I do contemplate calling in myself. So, and the paraprofessionals that work for us are like second teachers in the classroom, so there is no one that has a greater appreciation for you and the things that you do than I do. And I appreciate you, and I thank you for coming tonight and sharing.
Okay, moving on with the agenda.